Something happened today, maybe small, maybe ordinary, and within seconds, your mind turned it into a story about what it means, about what happens next, about what kind of person you are. And here's what nobody stops to ask. What if the story isn't true? We've all been taught to trust our feelings. Your emotions are valid. Your truth is your truth. And that's not wrong. Feelings are real, but feelings are not the same as facts. Your colleague didn't reply to your message. Your mind says, "She's angry with me. I must have done something wrong." Your partner came home quiet. Your mind says, "Something is wrong between us. He's pulling away." You failed at something. Your mind says, "This proves I'm not good enough. I never was." The event was 5 seconds. The story ran for 5 hours. Buddhism has a precise word for this: Papañca, mental proliferation. The mind's compulsive habit of turning bare experience into elaborate story. The original experience is just a signal, neutral, raw, like a single musical note. But the mind immediately adds meaning, history, prediction, judgment, and the notes becomes a symphony of suffering. The Buddha called this the second arrow. The first arrow is what happens to you. The second arrow, the one that does the real damage, is the story you add to it. You can't always stop the first arrow, but the second one, you shoot yourself. The teaching isn't that emotions are wrong. It's that we confuse what happened with what we decided it means. Most of the time when we say, "I know the truth," what we really mean is, "I believe my story very strongly." Seeing clearly, what Buddhism calls vipassana, or insight, means learning to separate the two. What actually happened, and what did I add to it? That gap between the event and the story is where freedom lives. I want to tell you about Lily. She worked as a project manager, calm on the outside, fluent in making things run. One afternoon, her manager skipped her name during a team meeting, didn't acknowledge her contribution, just moved on. The event lasted 3 seconds. But by the time she got home that evening, Lily had built an entire world out of those 3 seconds. "He doesn't respect me. I'm invisible at this company. Maybe I'm not as capable as I thought. Maybe I never was. Maybe this is just how it always goes for me. She couldn't sleep. She rehearsed the conversation she'd have with him. She drafted it in her head 17 times. The next morning, she saw her manager in the hallway. He smiled and said, "Great work on that report, Lily. Really solid." The world she'd built overnight, the invisible woman, the failing career, the proof that she'd never be enough, collapsed in an instant. She told me, "I suffered for an entire night over something that existed only in my head. The event was 3 seconds. The story was my whole life." This is not a failure of intelligence. Lily is sharp. So are you. The mind is simply doing what minds do: pattern matching, predicting, protecting. The practice isn't to stop the mind from storytelling. It's to learn to recognize when the story has begun. To ask quietly, what actually happened? Just the bare fact. That question, asked gently without judgment, is the beginning of seeing clearly. Today, something will happen, something small, and your mind will immediately begin to explain it. When it does, pause for just a moment. Ask, what is the bare fact here? And what am I adding to it? You don't have to solve the story. You just have to see it for what it is. If this landed somewhere real for you, share it with someone who's been carrying a story that might not be true.